Okay, good day everybody. This is a training video to teach you how to calculate pips in the forex markets. Now, this is a very simple calculation, yet it might look kind of complex to some extent. But trust me, when you get it, this is the most easiest means to calculate pips in forex. Now, um, there is a formula for calculating pips in the first place. First of all, for every 10 pips we want to calculate, we use 100 units. For every 20 pips, we use 200, 30 pips, 300, and so on and so forth. 50 pips, 500, 70 pips, 700, and so on and so forth. Also, for 1 pip, sorry, it is supposed to be pip instead of pips. 1 pip, we use 10 units. 2 pip, 2 pips, we use 20. 3 pips, we use 30. 13 pips we use 180, 14 pips we use 140. I just had to just use these little figures for better understanding. But from this formula, I definitely feel you should be able to understand how we can calculate other pips. For instance, if we say calculate 85 pips, you should know it's 850. If we say calculate 57 pips, you should know it's 570, and so on and so forth. So have this formula at the back of your mind. Then understand these other concepts too. The concept states that in calculating pips in a direction, because the market either goes upwards or downwards for us to make profit or make incur a loss. So if you are calculating the pips in the upward direction, that is the market is going up, we are going to be using the addition fraction. I'm going to be using the addition to be able to do the maths. Then if you are calculating the pips downwards to the downside, we are going to be using the subtraction, popularly known as minus. Yeah, so we're going to be using subtraction to calculate pips in the downward direction, addition for the upward direction. So let's use an example. For Euro USD, if we sell, the stop loss for a sell is in the upward direction, because when we sell, we expect the market to go down, and if the market go down, that's when we take our take profits. If the market goes up rather, that is when we take our stop loss. So the stop loss for a sell trade is up in the upside, while the take profit for a sell trade is in the downside. Now this is a direct opposite of the buy trade. For the buy trade, the stop loss is in the downside, because when we buy, we are expecting the market to go up. So if the market is going down, we are taking a loss. So we are stopping a loss at the downside in the buy market. And for the take profit of the buy market, if the market is going up, that is when we can take profit, because we are definitely in a profit. So let's take an example of this. Now, I have just I took a screenshot of our present market as at the time I was recording this video. So I'm going to zoom in. This is Euro USD. Now, take a look at the price here. The price is 1.03168. So we are going to be using this price to calculate our pips for Euro USD. So I stated we will do a calculation of pips. Sorry, there's a grammatical error. We will do a calculation of pips on Euro USD for a sell and buy trade, setting stop loss and take profit. Now, based on the screenshot I just showed you guys, our price is at 1.03168. So the first example is we are going to be calculating if we take a buy at this price, if we should take a buy at this price. So we will calculate the following parameters. For a buy, let us see, we want to calculate 50 pips take profit and 20 pips stop loss. So for that, this is our take profit calculation. Now we have 1.03168, right? So remember the formula to calculate 50 pips, we are going to use 500. Now remember the other concept where we said okay, so this is the first example we're going to be using based on the price in the screenshot I just showed you guys. The 1.03168 happens to be the current price as at the time of doing this video on Euro USD. So we are going to calculate for a buy trade first. So let us use this following TP, 50 pips, and this SL, 20 pips. Now remember, for 50 pips we are going to be calculating with 500. For 20 pips we are going to be calculating with 200. Also remember that for a buy trade, or rather for a buy trade, yes, when we want to take profit, we are taking profit at the upside, because when we buy, we are only expecting the market to go up before we can definitely make profit on that trade. So the trade has to go up for us to take profit. The trade has to come down for us to take a loss. So for the upside, remember we are using the addition sign. So we are going to be using addition sign here, just like I have just done. Plus sign 500. So 1.03168 plus 500. Now note, you are not going to impute in your calculator 1.03168. Instead, you are going to be using, what did they call it? You are going to be using, it's supposed to be 03168, but normally, you know, when you type 0 on your calculator, it's not going to display 0. So for the purpose of this, our number for calculation is going to start at 3168 plus 500, which now gives us this price. Sorry, I'll go again. 3168 plus 500, which gives us this price. So now the number after the decimal point that we left out, we will now bring it back. So it's now going to be 1 point, then the 0 that the calculator could not identify, 0, then the results, which is 0.3668. This price now becomes your price for take profits. For stop loss, we are calculating in a downward direction because this is a buy trade, and we can only take a loss if it goes down. So for a down trade, for a downward movement, we are using the subtraction sign. So and remember, we are using 20 pips, and 20 pips is represented as 200 for our calculation. So we are calculating the same price minus 200, just as we have here. So we are having 3168 minus 200, which gives us this price. So remember, we're only calculating the number after the decimal point. Then we have this guy. So always note, we calculate with addition because the TP for a buy trade is in the upward direction, and we use the subtraction because the SL for a buy trade is in the downward direction. Now let's do the second explanation, second example. Still using the same parameters as the entry price of Euro USD, we are still setting the same take profit of 50 pips, SL of 20 pips. Now the only thing that changes here is the fact that we are selling now. This one is a buy trade, this is a sell trade. And in a sell trade, we are doing directly opposite of what we did for a buy trade. So for a sell trade, the take profit is going to be downwards because we are selling and we are expecting the market to go down for us to make profit. That is why we use the subtraction, because for a downward calculation, we use subtraction to get it done. So this price minus 500 will give us this price. You can always do the calculation on your own to know this is the right figure. Then for the SL also, this price plus 200, because the SL for a sell trade is upward. If the trade is going up and we are selling, we are losing. So that is why the stop loss is up. So note, we calculate with subtraction because TP for a sell trade is in an upward direction, and for a downward direction is in an upward direction. Sorry, I made a mistake here. And for a downward direction, we are using stop loss is an upward direction, and this is in a downward direction. This is for a downward direction, guys. Sorry, I made that mistake. Downward direction, yes. So the TP for this is a downward direction, so we are using a subtraction. The stop loss for this is in the upward direction, so we are using a plus. Thank you very much, guys. This